The change of you at 14 to the change of you at 21 on the building site was staggering. How can you explain that vast change in...
I thought differently. I had different aspirations. I wasn't content with a quiet, domesticised life. I had to go out and seek adventure. And it had its downside because I hadn't really been well prepared for it in my childhood.
When Michael Apted died in January of 2021, he left behind a legacy difficult to pin down or sum up with a phrase or an idea. He was perhaps best known to cinephiles as the director and progenitor of the Up series, where he followed children as they became adults for 56 years of their lives to tell the story of the human condition and how it's affected by class and opportunity. He made thrillers with a social conscience, tried to throw his not inconsiderable weight and talent as an image maker and storyteller behind heroines, women who couldn't see, women who couldn't speak, women who'd been battered by life and by the terrible men in their orbit. He made documentaries about issues that mattered to him, that he knew no one else would make. He could have just been an entertainer. Heaven knows he was good at it, but he did more than that. He took studio money to make conventional movies, and then used it to make movies that could change people's minds and hearts. Although occasionally he made a movie that he seemed to really click into, and not just in a way that guaranteed him more work. For instance, when he was offered to direct the third entry in the supernaturally successful Chronicles of Narnia franchise, he didn't just see it as a paycheck. He and his cinematographer Dante Spinotti knew that they had a rare opportunity to make something magnificent.
I've been the painting.
I found them under your bed. And do you know what? I licked every one of them.
Ugh, I'm infected with you! What's going on here?
Lucy, do you think...
Some kind of trick! Stop it or I'll tell Mother! 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 I'll just smash the wrong thing.
No! No!
Stop it! Help me! No! Let go!
Spinotti was an early adopter of digital photography and quickly made himself a kind of indispensable practitioner of the form who you had to work with if you wanted your movie to stand out. Spinotti almost immediately transformed the American cinema with his images, showing just how beautiful digital could look if indeed we'd be saddled with the technology in place of the 35mm film with which he'd come up. Spinotti got his start shooting Italian fantasy films in the Excalibur and Conan the Barbarian tradition, and here finally was a chance to make something of the same caliber of high fantasy but with real money, and a simpatico director who allowed him a full canvas to paint. Together these men made the kind of timeless fantasy film that used to come out with some regularity in the 50s and 60s, but had long been an antique. There's just such clear, tangible joy in the way that they use their camera to tell stories within stories in this film, the way in which they create impossible, fantastical things. It is, profoundly odd to be nostalgic for digital cameras, considering that they're all anybody uses anymore, but the pure and simple truth is that too few movies shot on digital have the kind of arch personality that Spinati gave The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Apted and Spinati's care with the image has guaranteed this too will be an antique someday, and like the ripping high seas yarns to which they were paying homage, it will age splendidly.
What did you mean when you said you made them invisible for their own good?
It seemed the easiest way to protect them from the evil.
You mean the mist?
I mean what lies behind the mist.
Beautiful. I mean, for a make-believe map of a make-believe world.
There is the source of your troubles. Dark Island. A place where evil lurks. It can take any form. It can make your darkest dreams come true. It seeks to corrupt all goodness, to steal the light from this world.
How do we stop it?
You must break its spell. That sword you carry, there are 6 others.
Have you seen them?
Yes,
The 6 lords. They passed through here.
indeed.
Where were they headed?
Where I sent them. To break the spell, you must follow the blue star to Ramandu's island. There the 7 swords must be laid at Aslan's table.
Apted fixed all the problems of the previous 2 Narnia movies, got the camera to sing, got great performances out of his youthful cast for the first time, but the trouble with making mega blockbusters is that even taking millions and millions of dollars at the box office can seem like a disappointment when you were expecting billions. There was not to be a 4th Narnia film, and Apted never again got an opportunity this big. Apted made great, important films, and he made silly, inconsequential films, but I don't know that he ever made anything else like Dawn Treader, where it was clear he was just having so much fun breaking ground with his old friend behind the camera. This is a movie whose digital images seem alive. Apted's legacy will always be his incredible work as a documentarian and a director of humanist fiction, a decades-long crusade to ensure that we opened our eyes to the people around us, that we looked past the visible to the things that we hide to stay alive, the pain we all carry.
In stormy weather, they take the very sickest and throw them into the sea to lighten the ship's load.
But personally, I'll also remember watching this movie, expecting another thudding, misshapen, lifeless thing designed to bilk people out of their money in exchange for the endorphin rush of recognizable names and properties, and instead, seeing something only an artist could have made. Apted's heart was almost too big for his body, and we should count ourselves very lucky that we got to see so much of it. Thank you.